So my folks are away on holiday. They went away to Morocco. They left this morning. So I've been tasked with looking after their wonderful little cat. Her name's Koda. We grew up with cats. We spent our entire life with cats. I love cats, absolutely love cats. Our first cats that we had when I was a kid were called Tabitha and Flanagan, and they were lovely. Flanagan had long furry hair. Tabitha was like quite mouthy, but just like mouthy in the kind of meow meow kind of way. She was lovely, beautiful, beautiful cat. So my first experience with cats was wonderful. And then sadly, obviously, as you get older, they passed away, and it was really upsetting. I was really upset. So all I wanted for Christmas, I was like, I just want a cat. I want a cat for my birthday. I want a cat for my Christmas. Eventually, I got one. I got this lovely little cat. We called her Elmo, and she was brilliant. She was brilliant. So she lived with us in the old house, and then we moved here to the farm. And then she wasn't neutered, and then she obviously went out and frolicked about in the fields with all the, like, I don't know, cows and shit. And then she came back. She was pregnant. Cheeky wee beast. So anyway, she got pregnant. We're like, oh shit. So she had a litter of kittens, and we were like, oh, we better get rid of these. Not like throw them in a river or anything like that. Like, but as kids, like, well, I wasn't a kid. I was maybe 16 or something like that. And I was like, oh my god, kittens! This is brilliant. So she had a whole bunch of kittens, and we were like, right, okay. Not really realizing how quickly a cat will get pregnant again. We're like, right, okay, we need to really get her neutered. So, but we were, I think we were getting to the point where we were going to get neutered, and she was pregnant again with another batch of kittens. I was like, oh my god. And it's heartbreaking getting rid of kittens. I had one in particular I was really attached to, that I called her Peasel. And I just loved this cat. He used to sleep in my bed and stuff like that. And I remember coming home. Honestly, this sounds like a lie, and my mum will say it's a lie. It's fucking not a lie. I came back and I was like, Peasel, Peasel, where's my wonderful Peasel? So I'm like looking around the house for Peasel, and I'm like in every room. I'm like, Peasel. And then there's like I seem to remember a sort of sheepish look on their face, would say like, we've got some bad news, kiddo. We gave Peasel away. So they gave Peasel away. So I was really not very happy about it. But we did keep one of the cats from that, and that cat was called Farquhar. He was ginger. He was amazing. He was possibly the most affectionate cat ever. Absolutely wonderful. And then I had an ex of mine who was fun enough called Cat, and she hated cats. She hated cats. She used to give me like anything, because she was a dog person, I was a cat person. I had a dog as well, but I was definitely a cat person. And anytime we spoke about cats and dogs, rather than just accepting that I liked cats and that she liked dogs, she would give me like scientific documents about why cats were cunts. But we went to Iceland, and then there was this little cat that came into this room because we were locked in a snowstorm. And then she was like, oh, cats are actually quite cool. I'm like, fucking told you. I told you. And then subsequently down the line, there was this whole story with, well, we were out having a barbecue, like me and my boys, and her, and we were having a barbecue, and we just had this meowing. I was like, oh, there's a wee cat, and it came up and joined us. We're like, all right, because it'd been meowing at someone's door just further down the street. And then, the kids were all like, oh, this is the best, there's a cat. And we, at the end of the barbecue, was like, Eben, you can't, Eben was my youngest, he was tiny. And he was like, just desperately, just like, oh, come into the house, join us. So basically, we got to the end of the night, and we're like, look, dude, I know it's lovely to have the wee cat. Let's go take it back down to our owner. So Cat, the human cat, and Eben went to the store, and like, sorry, your cat joined us for this barbecue. And they're like, that's not my cat. Like, this cat's been cutting about the neighbourhood. Eben was like, oh, you bastard. Is this now our cat? And we were like, don't get excited, man. It's probably someone's cat. So it started this whole debacle where we were looking for the cat. We put it up in Facebook pages. We put it up in the RSPC, whatever, and Cats Protection, everything. And shared it far and wide. And it became this thing, well, we're not going to leave it outside. So we had this exciting evening where we went down to the local co-op and got some cat food. And I got some really nice cat food because I'm like, can I give this wee guy a treat? And oh, this cat was lovely, 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 lovely. a wee black and white thing. So it came in the house, and obviously we were all so excited. We're like, sweet, tomorrow we're going to go down to the vets and see if it's been tagged. So we did that. And they're like, no, there's no tag on it. And we were speaking to him. I says, look, we've put it up and this and that. And the woman says, well, you've got a couple of choices. You either leave it with us or whatever, or, you know, you can take it back and just, you know, put it out. It's the same sort of, like, put out that you've got the cat. And we're like, yeah, well, of course we'll look after it, because I don't really like the idea of it being in a wee cage or something like that. So we took it back, and it was like this long wait for weeks and weeks and weeks. And then we had somebody after, you know, you get attached to it within a day. But about a week or so later, someone messaged going, hey, it's like, I think you've got my cat. And you're like, ah, fuck. And you're like, and you know, obviously we love the cat, but this is actually their cat. So they'll be like more gutted than us. And we're like, yeah. And then we, you know, just to kind of think, I said, so we sent a picture, and then she sent a picture, and we realised it wasn't the same. They looked very similar, but they were not the same cat. And she's like, oh, that's not my cat. And I was like, obviously upset for them, but at the same time, like, fucking yes. Like, we get to keep the cat. And then your hopes build up. Maybe about 2 or so weeks go in, and we get another one. Some woman's like, oh, I've been away on holiday. I came back, my cat's missing. And we're like, well, it's definitely hers. It's definitely hers. And it's just, honestly, the emotional roller coaster was unbearable. Turned out it wasn't her cat either. Like 3 weeks went by, 4 weeks went by, nothing. It became our cat. We called her Bramble. Absolutely amazing. Loved this thing. Absolutely loved this little cat. So fucking awesome. She was a wee mischief, but just gentle and lovely and cool as fuck. But then me and my ex, we obviously split up. She got a job down south, and, you know, we went our separate ways. But I had kids. They were my kids. So when we split up, I was like, well, I can't give you them. And I was utterly gutted. But I knew she'd just be totally heartbroken if she didn't. I couldn't just be like, I'm also taking the cat. So I let her have the cat, which, you know, I felt like the right thing to do, despite the fact that it's like emotionally scarred me forever. So anyway, my experience with having cats is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But this cat is a shit. And I am going to be looking after it for a few days. I don't know where she is. Oh, wait. Oh, there's a wee fish. Hello. I would show you her, but it's in my sister's bedroom, and that's not fair. But basically, she just attacks you. And not only does she attack you, but if she hisses and stuff, but she waits in places that are incredibly inconvenient. Like, she'll stand in doorways. Like, doorways she knows you have to get through. And she'll sit there with a wee face like, fucking morning. And then she'll attack your feet. She waits under the table. She waits under there. And you're like carrying gear, like coming in with drums or guitars, and then you just get like, meow. She's a wee shit. So, it's just gonna be me and her for the next 5 days or something. So she's sitting in my sister's bed. I think, you know, cats know that when someone's gone away. So I'm gonna try and be her pal, despite the fact she's an absolute shite. Yeah, prepare for updates on cat mayhem.